I have a 4-month-old and a 4-year-old, and we play. They play. They want to play. They want to laugh. They want to be goofy and see you be goofy. Just observing kids or having kids and really truly being present with them shows you how a lot of the minutia of things that you think might have been important or consume your brain, and then you start to look and you're like, wow, it could be a lot simpler, and my body can feel better. I don't have to feel so stressed.
Your sales software shouldn't be a bummer, and when you step inside your CRM, you should actually feel equipped to do your best work. It's kind of like being in the pilot seat, but having all the easy-to-use controls. Well, that's what HubSpot's doing with the new Sales Hub. It's all designed to have you win quarter over quarter, year over year, all the way from the intuitive prospecting workspace, using AI-powered tools. The point is to reduce your workflow, all the work on managing leads, the follow-ups, basically making closing deals a no big deal at all. So this is how you can wrangle your day-to-day tasks using a seamless platform that basically navigates all the contacts, calls, analytics, all in one spot. ChatSpot is also the AI-powered tool that helps you personalize a lot of things in your CRM. It's basically like little assistants working for you. You just got to prompt it, and basically it pulls up a contact, sums up different sales, or researches your competitors. It helps you automate a lot of things during the sales pipeline so your team or yourself can take your time back. And the whole point is to make this easier and more effective for you. So this is the time for you to close more deals and get you on track for your best Q1 yet. Learn more about HubSpot Sales Hub over at hubspot.com/sales.
Hey, it's Joe Fier, and I'm outside. I'm on my property here with my daughter on a little walk, and I want to ask you I feel like it's one of the most important questions not only as an entrepreneur or as an adult, but a driven entrepreneur and adult, is how do you play? Or do you even play anymore? Like, is that even part of what you do anymore in your day-to-day? Like, do you prioritize that? And I watched an Instagram clip from Gabor Maté, amazing doctor, psychologist, and he just has a wealth of background. And if you haven't read any of his books, just go check them out. I mean, they're dense, but they're a reflection of I feel like a lot of what our society needs to hear right now. And so I have my daughter with me right now, 4-monther, and we're just walking around here, and I want to talk about what this means to me. So we'll either drop that clip here or maybe later on.
If I were to choose to live my life over again, I wouldn't live it in this way. Do you know Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not personally.
No. The book. The end of that book would bring tears to my eyes for years. Christopher Robin has to go to school, and he's telling his friends, the toy animals, that he won't be able to play with them so much anymore. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school and when I was a physician is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters. And what matters is what you were telling me last night about how every summer you take a bunch of weeks away from your podcast and you just spend time enjoying your kids and your wife and your family. I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And the book ends with the statement, and whatever they do or wherever they go in the enchanted forest, the little boy and his bear will always be playing together. And that phrase would bring tears to my eyes for years. People sacrifice their playfulness, their joyfulness, being driven by unconscious needs to validate your existence. And where does that come from? Again, that comes from childhood trauma. Play is so important, and joy is so important. In that sense, we can always keep playing in the enchanted forest, and that's just essential, I think.
When it comes to play, I'll just say, there's a lot of us as driven folks that get into our work, we get obsessed, we get so focused in that flow, and that's great. And at the same time, it can take us down and away from what truly matters most. And that's where, when Gabor was talking about how he would do life differently if he were to do it all over. And you'll see why, or maybe you understand already from that reel. And when it comes to something that I'm going to tease an episode that's coming up soon with Justin Breen, him and I talked recently, and he's a master when it comes to Colby and a personality test, which will be one of the things I talk about in a moment. And I've talked about it on this podcast before, but we talked about this, and this is kind of the first thing for us entrepreneurs, us in business, is if you think about business and the word itself, just look at it. busyness. It's busyness. It's busyness. Like, screw that. I don't want to be busy just to be busy or to be in business. You know what I mean? So like, just that reframe alone, if you think about it, and if you look at that word, and Justin brought this up to me, and I think he said I was like the first that basically, I saw that already because I've been pondering that for the last couple months. Actually, it just hit me one day. I was like, wait, business, what a kind of a messed up word for what we all do in a way. Like, we might not call ourselves a business owner, even though we technically are legally. So there's that. So there's, in this episode, that's kind of like one of the pillars of things I want to talk about here is like, are you keeping yourself just busy, and is that taking away from your true essence? And, thinking of what Gabor said in that reel is us as kids, and I have a 4-year-old, I have a 4-month-old and a 4-year-old, and we play, they want to play, they want to laugh, they want to be goofy and see you be goofy. And man, I see that as a reflection when you have kids, and even if you don't have kids, just go hang out near kids or volunteer, like really engage yourself. You quickly see that it's all about play. Same with dogs. You have dogs or a cat. I mean, animals, they love play. So think about how just observing kids or having kids and really truly being present with them shows you how it takes you out of the a lot of the minutia of things that you think might have been important or consume your brain, and then you start to look and you're like, wow, it could be a lot simpler, and my body can feel better. I don't have to feel so stressed.
Hey, I just want to pause this episode really fast and shout out a podcast that's also on the HubSpot podcast network, the audio destination for business professionals. This one's a podcast that's hosted by someone I've followed for years. His name is Donald Miller. He has the whole Story brand book and all the different stuff online. He hosts the podcast called Business Made Simple. The premise is to basically take the mystery out of growing your business. And he recently had on, one of the other guys I follow is Alex Hermosi. And right at the beginning of the year, they're talking about facing uncertainty in your business. And Alex and Donald, they talk about 4 different ways to basically shore up your business to ride the uncertain times that inherently are the ones we're living in 2024. So make sure to go check that out. Go listen to Business Made Simple, that episode with Alex Hermosi, but also the other ones, wherever you get your podcasts. Hey, I want to tell you about an all-in-one marketing platform that's been a game changer for a bunch of businesses. It's called Kartra, and it's the all-in-one tool that you need to grow. So the point is, you don't need to pay for a whole bunch of different subscriptions because Kartra does it all. So what makes Kartra different is that you can automate everything. Everything from delivering your online courses, sending targeted emails, selling products, and even handling your customer support. So all in all, it's saving you time and a bunch of money. And right now, you can try it out for 30 days. Just head over to hustleandflowchart.com/Kartra and go get that free trial. Again, that is hustleandflowchart.com/KARTRA.
Think of kids and the natural beings that we once were as kids. And now we've kind of become more so through conditioning, I believe, but also a lot of it's from our own superpowers. Is like, we're driven as entrepreneurs, as people in business. We're typically very driven. A lot of us are quick starts, like we're quick to action. We can visionary, we can put things together. Or even if we're not super fast action, at least we have our ideas kind of are, and we want to see something come to life, and that's where I think the drivenness, we want to solve problems and do big things and impact. At least that's what I hear from my own thoughts and also from others around me. So there's that. I want to talk about our personalities as well. And this is, I hinted at Justin Breen and the Colby. And I retook mine recently. It's been about 4 years since I originally did, and it's always enlightening, and especially when you start to understand what this thing is. So what's the Kolbe? It's Kolbe. It's $55 assessment. It's not a personality assessment, but it takes into account so many things. And ultimately, at least the way that I define it, and Justin will be on the podcast very soon, so he'll deep dive, is it's going to pull out your superpowers. It's essentially going to tell you what you should and should not be doing based off of 4 categories. There's fact finder, there is follow through, there's quick start, and then there is implementation, like getting your hands dirty on things. I am let's see here. When it comes to fact finding, I'm a 5. I'm right around a 5. They say I'm a 5, so I'm middle of the road. It's out of 9. And then there's the follow through. I'm more of a 3, even though I think Justin said, I'm a little more than that. So that's actually like doing what you say you're going to do, because a lot of us are maybe not so good at that. So, and I wouldn't judge any of this, because like all of us are different. We all have different numbers. My quick start, so how fast I get in action and want to do stuff, it's a 9. That's really high. I'm the highest. And then my implementation, actually like getting in the weeds and detail, mine is a 3. And so it's interesting. And when I see my numbers, I'm like, okay, so I enjoy to fact find, and to an extent, so I'm like middle of the road. I like things kind of succinct and to the point, enough to be actionable. In terms of the actual follow through is lower, because I think of a lot of factors. It's probably because I love to work with teams and co-create, so I want to leverage other people and co-create. Honestly, I want to stay in my lane. So in my lane is a lot more of the quick start. So like the 9, it's a lot more visionary focused. So this is just my personality I'm sharing with you. And then follow through, implementation's the 4th number. And for me, that's lower. And, so getting in the weeds on projects, trying to code a website or do these meticulous little video edits and graphic design. I used to do a lot of that stuff, but it would drain me energetically, and then it would honestly force me to work too much and get busy. Whereas in my superpowers, it would not be doing that. So I share the Kolbe with you because it shows this perspective that now you have this lens to view yourself in ways that you never have before. And then you could pair it up with your team. You could pair it up with the work that you do, the things that you may or may not commit to, and how to simplify things ultimately for yourself. That ultimately gets to play. And going on to the next point here, and I'm just rattling some thoughts off my head from what I've been thinking about here, is Frank Shamrock. He was on the podcast 7 months ago, something like that. And UFC champion, amazing, retired on the top. I mean, dude's incredible. And he said play is how he does everything. He studies animals because they play. You look at kids and they learn by playing, by falling down, by rolling around, by fighting with each other, pushing boundaries. It's all play. It's how you communicate ideas. I see my 4-year-old, she's always playing. We're always playing characters and roles from TV shows or just made up animals in her mind, unicorns, cats. And that's play. And what we're doing at the same time, and this is what Frank talks about, that animals do as well, he's studying all of them, their movements, the way they act, that's how we're engaging with community. That's how we're engaging with ourselves. We're seeing what's possible. We're testing boundaries. We're learning. We're resting. There are these break times. It's not like we're sprinting all the time. It's like sprint and then we reflect. And I think that's play in a nutshell. And I think a lot of these lessons are things that I wanted to share with you to open your mind to different perspectives and ways of being, that you can start to think about how can you integrate play into your life, into your daily life. And you don't need kids, you don't need animals, you just need yourself. And just to be real with like, hey, what does play look like? What does this potential reality look like that you can that you can live that then simplifies your busyness and allows you to do more into your superpowers. You could tap in that way. So I challenge you, share either in the comments below or as a review. I urge you to share how you're going to play and any insights, any light bulb moments you might have had from this, maybe some things you've neglected in the past. How can play get integrated in what you do? So let me know. Always feel free to reach out to. I'll share my email, which I occasionally do, and I always want to hear from you. It's joe@hustleandflowchart.com. So write me an email. That does go to me. Leave a review, subscribe, follow, share this episode. It's all very appreciated. So thank you. Till next time, we're going to go on our little walk. Catch you then.